What is going on, YouTube? Joe here with Color Nation Media, and welcome back to another live Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle against the subscriber/follower on Twitter. Roman, the Hack Scott, aka Rayloy, is here yet again for another fun battle, and I say fun battle because we always have fun matches. I was going to do an RU match. It ended up being a PU match because that's what Roman would like to do, so I'm going to bring half of this team and transplant it into the RU team that I was going to use originally. So you'll see that in the next battle on the channel when that goes up in a few days. Anyway, before we get started today, if you guys can, if you haven't done so already and you would like to show some support to the channel and the series and all that fun stuff, just a friendly little reminder that it only takes a couple seconds to click that thumbs up button right below this video, or leave your thoughts in the comment section below if you have specific Pokemon you would like to see me use. I always try to include a suggestion from you guys that you would like to see, so feel free to do that. Today, I've got mostly unevolved Pokemon, which is kind of interesting. Butterfree is the only fully evolved Pokemon I have. It's going to be a Focus Sash Quiver Dance user. Then we've got a Floette, which is just kind of defensive. I think it's physically defensive, or I think I possibly have split the EVs. I would have to double check exactly what the EVs are. It was a strange number, strange setup with the EV Light, aromatherapy, all that fun stuff. Then we have Marcus the Sneasel, which only briefly got into a match beforehand. So hopefully he'll see some more action today. I believe he has the Life Orb. He's got Swords Dance, Ice Shard, Ice Punch, and a knockoff. Then we have, because Bunnies Jr., the Marill, which is absolutely devastating in the lower tiers, and it actually can hold its own in the higher tiers as well, as you probably have seen on BattleSpot Live recently, because I've been using it. Then we have Marsha, the Marshtomp, which is our Stealth Rock user. It's also packing the Scald and the Toxic to spread some status around. Then I think I just have EQ as an attacking move. Then we have Vibes, the Vibrava. And I'm going to lead off with Marcus here, looking at Roman's team, which is very cool, by the way. That Unpheasant scares me because you guys have seen, if you've been watching the Showdown sessions, which I hope you have, well, that sounded bad. No, forget I just said that. But anyway, if you saw that session with the Unpheasant, the Choice Band Unpheasant just was sweeping teams, and it was ridiculous. So I'm kind of scared. Very scared. Anyway, finishing what I was saying, Vibrava is going to be physically defensive. It is our Defogger, and it's packing the Toxic as well. I feel like I have a lot of Toxic users. I guess two, but still. Roost, and then U-Turn, so it's just straight utility. So half of our team is kind of bulky defensive, and the other half is fairly frail, and by fairly frail I mean very frail. Sneasel and Butterfree mostly just get one-shotted if they take a hit. So this is actually a good matchup for us to have Marcus out here against Nana the Unpheasant, because we can just go for an Ice Punch. And part of me wants to knock off predicting something to come in, like maybe that, I wanted to say Chimchar, the Monferno that he had. We could even Swords Dance, but if that thing is Eviolite, then I won't be able to one-shot it. So I'm just going to Ice Punch and see what he wants to do here. We do outspeed this, even if it is offensive. Of course, there's the chance that it is Scarfed, and he's going to U-turn, and I'm going to die here, which would be really unfortunate. I'm not going to lie. We'll see if he just wants to Hard Switch. He is going to Hard Switch, so he's not Scarfed. So we can rule that out. He could be defensive, or he could be Choice Banded, or he could be Life Orb, you know, offensive of some kind. Anyway, we're going for the Ice Punch, and that does a butt ton of damage. That is definitely not Eviolite Monferno. I keep wanting to call you Chimchar. I know before this battle is over, I will call you Chimchar, unfortunately. That did like 45%. That has to be Life Orb, so he's going to be offensive. He might be an offensive Stealth Rock user, so he may go for the rocks here. Either way, I think that Vibes would be the better choice, because Bunnies Jr., I know he resists the stab, but he's not packing the Eviolite. I don't have a team full of just Eviolite. He actually has the Choice Band. So if we switch it in, I don't know that now would be the right time to do that. I mean, we could switch in Marsha as well, because Marsha is physically defensive, but I don't have any recovery on that, and I do have recovery on Vibes. So there's that. I think Marsha would take the hit a little bit better. So there's different things to consider here. But I think Vibes is our best choice. And if he wants to set up a Stealth Rocks, we can defog immediately after, because I don't think he can one-shot me. So yeah, he decides to just go for the Mach Punch. He goes for the safe play and, you know, kind of figure out how I'm going to play this. He does show off the Life Orb. That didn't do a lot of damage for a Life Orb user. Vibes taking the hit very, very well. And I'm going to U-turn here, as he's going to U-turn as well. So he's going to take more Life Orb recoil. If I can get rocks up a little bit later on in this match, that'll be fantastic to eliminate this Monferno. Of course, it is already in a range where Aqua Jet will one-shot it. But if we can get it into a range where an Ice Shard will one-shot it, definitely, then we'll be in good shape. So we'll see what he wants to go into here. Thankfully, you know, that's the benefit of being slower. That slower U-turn that we have is going to allow us to see what he switches in and then, you know, respond accordingly, and we get all of the initiative because we are greedy when it comes to initiative. We're all about the initiative. I don't know what I'm saying. Just forget it. Just forget it. He's going to go into Sakura, which is going to be the Stoutland. Okay, so he's packing the Intimidate. I know Roman likes to use Assault Vest Stoutland, so I don't necessarily want to just assume that that's what he's doing here, but I want to say that that's what he's bringing. I really do. I have a hunch. I don't know if it's going to be the correct hunch or a wrong hunch, but it's a hunch. So let's see. What do we have that can take this on? I have nothing that can one-shot it. I don't have any fighting-type moves on this entire team, sadly. And even if I did, even without the Intimidate, Stoutland is fairly bulky for PU. And that Intimidate is going to be a problem for because Bunny's here and Marcus. The rest of my team is mostly special, so that's not that big of a deal. But I guess we'll go into Marsha here because we can throw up a Toxic. We could scald him to try to, you know, get a burn. Although he does have that Bayleaf, and we need to be careful about that because I'm not positive, but it's very possible that he has the aromatherapy to get rid of any kind of status. And he also has War Turtle on his team, so we can't just throw up rocks just yet. And I'm probably going to wait until we eliminate that War Turtle before throwing up rocks at all. So there we go. Out comes Leaf, the Bayleaf, and that's a good play. Probably, I mean, I don't know if he was predicting anything. It doesn't matter. I can't really do much to him. He resists Scald, he resists EQ, and I have the Toxic, of course, but I'm pretty sure he has Aromatherapy. I don't know what else he would have. Giga Drain, maybe? That seems relevant on a, you know, defensive set. And I would guess he's specially defensive if I really had to make a guess. But again, these are just guesses. I'm just speculating. I'm just telling you guys what is going through my head right now as we're progressing through this battle. Things will change based on, you know, what we see as this goes on. He does go for the Toxic. So now Flowhead is poison, but we do have the Aromatherapy, so we are fine here. Just double Toxic. Toxic all over the place. Well, we did have fairly bulky teams on both sides, I guess. Because it seemed like half of Roman's team was kind of defensive and just had some bulk, and my team's very similar. Then the other half is frail, and you're talking about the Monferno with the Life Orb. We saw how much a resisted Ice Punch did. That's just crazy. So we're going to go for the Aromatherapy as he switches in the Unpheasant again. And I have to say, I really enjoy the male Unpheasant design a lot better. I like the headdress thing going on. I don't know. I just think it's really cool. So now, I think we would be okay to go for a Wish. Throw up a Wish and see what he wants to do. Oh, he's got the Taunt. Alright, now we know what kind of set this is. He's got U-Turn. And, wait, did he show off U-Turn? No, he hard switched last time this was out. That was the Monferno that U-turned. So he's got the Taunt, which leads me to believe that he's not offensive. Yeah, he's going to go for the Tailwind here. So we're going to go for the Moonblast. I would expect this to be physically defensive, not specially defensive. There's the Moonblast, and that did so much damage. Are you kidding me? Wow, that did a lot. Okay, so we got the Tailwind off, so that is a bit unfortunate, but we do have Protect to kind of waste those turns if need be. But we can also pass a Wish here, because we didn't really take any damage on this Floette, and we are taunted. But I'm just going to go for another Moonblast. He's going to pull out the U-turn, so we've seen a majority of this set. We've seen U-turn, Tailwind, Taunt, and he's got to have some kind of recovery move, as he does get the crit because he is Roman. That's just what happens. But yeah, that's pretty much the entire set. He's either got Wish or Roost as his last move, I would guess. So out comes Sakura, the or Sakura, however you want to say it, wherever you want to put the inflection, the Stoutland, and yeah, that is definitely Assault Vest, so we know what this is now as well. That took absolutely no damage whatsoever from that Moonblast. That's craziness. Absolute craziness. The taunt has ended, so we could throw up another wish if I wanted to, but I'm not confident that you don't have something that would be super effective. So I'm pretty sure Stoutland gets Iron Head. You could be running that for like rock types. Could be. I don't know. Or maybe you just don't get it at all. I am going to throw up another wish here. He is going to go for the return, but we have some physical defense investment, and that's not going to be enough to take me out with another return. So we can go for a Moonblast here. We do not have to go for a Protect, which actually puts us in a great position. And I'm just going to go ahead and go right for that Moonblast. His team does not like Floette at all. It's putting in a lot of work already. So we're slowly weakening him down. And eventually we're going to be able to either come in with Meryl and just start play roughing everything, or we'll be able to come in with Marcus to clean up, or even Butters eventually, which is actually supposed to be the sweeper of this team. We just need to make sure that rocks stay off our side of the field. That's why we have Vibes there. We can keep him alive until the potential Stealth Rock users are gone. There's a lot going on here, and we're only 9 minutes deep in this battle, but there's just a lot happening. Just a lot happening. And I feel like I haven't been taking forever to choose my move like I normally do. Because I think this would be a quite a long battle if I was taking a long time. Out comes Leaf, the Bay Leaf. And we get a Moonblast off. I'm guessing this is especially defensive, as I said earlier. So yeah, that really didn't do a whole lot. But he is still poisoned. If he has the Aromatherapy, this would be the time to use it. Because as the Tailwind does peter out there, you're going to want to go for the Aromatherapy and then Synthesis afterwards, I would guess. And I can't really do anything to you because I don't have Toxic, so I can't make you continually go for Aromatherapy until you're out of it. So we could try to get a safe switch into Butters here. I don't know. Don't know if that's a good choice, though, because it's still 6-6, so bringing out your Focus Sash Sweeper for no reason doesn't really seem... That doesn't seem like a good idea, especially because War Turtle is still at full health. We don't know what its investment is. He does go for the Aromatherapy here, as expected, and we get off a Wish. So now I think we might want to pass it. And looking at the team, I mean, Vibes already has Recovery and Roost, so that might not be the best thing to pass it into. But we could just pass it into Marcus. Because even if he goes for Energy Ball, I'm pretty sure he's defensive with what we've seen so far, so he's not going to one-shot Marcus, and then we'll get most of our HP back. So there's a beautiful, shiny Sneasel. I love the pink Sneasel. It's so beautiful. He does go for the Synthesis as expected, so there we go. And Marcus will restore the 1 turn of Life Orb damage that he inflicted on himself, so really nothing special there. But now we have a type advantage, and I'm expecting a switch into War Turtle, predicting an Ice Punch. And I will go for a knockoff here. That is the play that I'm going to make. And we'll see how much that does. At the very least, we'll get rid of that Eviolite. And even if the War Turtle is weakened, then we can afford to set up the Stealth Rocks. So we'll see. Yep, out comes the War Turtle. So I actually made a correct prediction for once in my life. Finally, my prediction game has been bad lately. And wow, that did so much. And the Eviolite is gone. Wow, that did a lot of damage. I was not expecting it to do over half. Now we could try to switch and try to play it safe here, or we could try to go for another knockoff. But I don't know. I don't think knockoff will kill. But what does he have for me? He has Scald, which really won't do that much. And if he gets the burn, we have Aromatherapy, so it's really not that big of a deal. We probably can just go for a knockoff here, and... I mean, if we get max damage or close to max damage, it'll be a KO. If not, he'll survive with a sliver of HP, and then we can set up rocks. So there's the knockoff, and it is going to take the War Turtle out. Barely. Oh, you know why? You know why I took it out? I wasn't thinking about this, but we knocked the Eviolite off, so his defenses went back down. That's why. That wasn't max damage. That's just basic game mechanics, and I'm silly for not recognizing that. Thankfully, I made the correct play, as Sakura comes back out, and it's going to get an Intimidate off, and we need to switch. because an intimidated Sneasel is not a good Sneasel. Marcus doesn't like that. Look at his face. He's like, ugh, you disgust me with your intimidation tactics. Gross. Alright. What is a good switch here? I think now that that Wartortle's gone, switching into Marcia and immediately trying to set up rocks would be the best possible thing for us to do. He could have a Focus Sash on that Anorith as well, because it could be like a Swords Dance set. He's gonna go for the Play Rough. Was he predicting a switch? No, he was not, because we had Sneasel out here, so that was just for type advantage. Now we can go for a Stealth Rock because that did absolutely no damage. We are physically defensive. Return really doesn't do that much either. And I think we can take 2 more of those. And after getting these rocks up with Wartortle gone, we don't need Marcia for anything anymore. And instead of just going for Toxics because Aromatherapy is a thing, I think that going for EQ might be our best play here. Because we know it has an Assault Vest. Scald's going to do absolutely nothing. The only reason we would go for it would be to get a burn. But again, Aromatherapy is a thing. He pulls out the Facade this time, which is interesting because Return would do more, I would think. Because Facade only has 70 base power. But maybe he was predicting a Toxic or something. But he has to know I'm slower too. I don't know. I don't really know about that. But EQ did a nice chunk of damage. We can take 1 more hit. We could switch into Floette and try to save this thing. But I don't think it's necessary. I really don't think we need Marcia for anything. I know it walls the Monferno, but Monferno is not a problem with where it was at from an HP range. It's going to come in on rocks. It's got the Life Orb, so it's not going to be dishing out that much more damage. I don't see it killing more than 1 Pokemon on my team. And the EQ almost takes out this Stoutland here. And at this point, I think Marcia is good to just go down. He goes for the Play Rough. I don't know why he went for that. Maybe, he could have been predicting a switch into Vibrava. That could have been a thing. Because I was trying to think, why would you risk missing the Play Rough? Because with our luck, I know it has 90% accuracy, but with our luck, you would just miss. Now we can go into Marcus again, and we can go for any move that we want, really. We don't have to go for Ice Shard because Sneasel does naturally outspeed Stoutland. We know that it's an Assault Vest user. The off chance that you want to switch, though, I will go ahead and go for a knockoff and see. But nope, he's just going to fodder off the Stoutland at this point. I figured he might want to keep the Intimidate, but he really couldn't, as we do see the Assault Vest knocked off. He couldn't keep the Intimidate because rocks are up now, so he would die upon re-entry, so he basically had to keep it in. So yeah, there we go, and Xander, the Monferno, almost called it a Chimchar yet again, comes out. I don't know that an Ice Shard will kill. I'm really not confident, and it's not worth the risk for me at this point because Marcus just, as we've figured out, demolishes this entire team, basically. That's just something that his team doesn't like. And he still has that Bayleaf around, and Ice Punch is going to be very, very useful, potentially, down the stretch here. So we're going to play it safe. We're going to go into Vibes. I know I can take a hit. Even if he's to go for a close combat or something, I'm pretty sure we can take it. Although Because Bunnies Jr. does resist the stabs. So you know what? We're going to go into Because Bunnies Jr. Put some offensive pressure. I hope you go for Mach Punch here. That'd be the best case scenario. Or maybe he's going to predict the threat of the Mach Punch. He is going to predict that. He's going to go for the close combat. We do resist that. And we took that somewhat well. That's a Life Orb, close combat from a Monferno, and we don't have Eviolite. We are Choice Banded, so that actually was taken very, very well. Because Bunnies Jr. is so thick. Can't believe I ever put a Focus Sash on him. That's just disgraceful. We're not going to mess around here. We're going for the Aqua Jet. Because, wow, we get a critical hit. Meaningless critical hit. But I didn't want to mess around. He could have the Thunder Punch, so if I went for another move, I could just be dead. And I'm not really a big fan of being dead. Not really a big fan. Out comes Leaf here, which is to be expected. And I can't really do much to you. I mean, I have the Ice Punch, I know, but I can't go for it because I'm locked in Aqua Jet. So yeah, but at least Because Bunnies Jr. got a nice little KO there. I love it when he gets a KO. I don't know. I'm too attached to my Meryl, I think. It's just, it gets me too excited. Alright, we could go into Vibes. Yeah, let's go into Vibes. Why not? Vibes it is. We're approaching 20 minutes into this battle in another 2 minutes or so. Doesn't feel like this battle's been going on for that long, but it's been a good match. Very tactical. He does go for the energy ball, and we take that very well, and we should be okay to get off a roost here and get back up to a reasonable HP range. And if I had to guess, I would say he's going to go for Toxic, and we have the aromatherapy, so I'm really not worried. Yeah, he does go for the Toxic, and we avoid the attack. Okay. Well, Vibes is feeling a little loosey-goosey today, you know, avoiding those Toxics. What did I say about 90% accuracy moves? We just miss them all the time. And I would not be surprised here, as we're going for U-turn, I would not be surprised if he goes for Toxic again this turn and we avoid the attack a second time in a row. Wouldn't be the first time something like that happened during one of our matches. Let's see. We could just go into Marcus here. I don't care about Toxic. But I think I'll go into Floette, just because if we are going to predict the Toxic, then we can just immediately run with Therapy. He does go for the Toxic, and we avoid the attack a second time. What did I say? What did I say? Oh my goodness. Leaf, you need to get some glasses. Or you need to wear the ones that were prescribed to you. I don't understand why you don't want to put them on. You do not look like a nerd while you wear them. You actually look pretty cool. Ah. That's terrible. I mean, I know we have the aromatherapy, so it's not that big of a deal, but still. Just the basic principle of missing two 90% accuracy moves in a row is just silliness. So I feel for you there. I've been there, done that. I've missed, 3-4 moves in a row before with higher accuracy. Not a good time. So he's going to switch out here, and he's going to go into Nana. He's going to take a solid 25% due to the rocks, and that's precisely why I wanted that up, as we get a wish off before the Unpheasant can taunt us. And now we can go for a Moonblast with the lefties. I want to say Moonblast is still able to take this thing out from here. But we could also use this opportunity to pass a wish. Yeah, that's very tempting, because we know that it only has U-turn as an attacking move. So I don't think I'd want to risk switching in Marcus on a U-turn, but we can switch in Because Bunny's Jr. and recover all of that damage that we took from close combat, and then really put you in a bind. And he does go for the Tailwind here. Alright, so he's going to be faster for a couple of turns, but we get back up to just about full health. But we missed going up to full health by 1 HP point. Alrighty. We're still in business here. We could go for a Play Rough. I'm trying to think. The 2 Pokemon he has left, or 3 Pokemon he has left, he's got Anorith, which hasn't seen the light of the battle yet, or light of day, whatever. He's got the Bayleaf still, and he's got this, 2 of which are weak to Ice Punch. And Ice Punch is still a 2-hit KO on the Anorith. Well, I guess unless it's Eviolite. But the Anorith doesn't scare me as long as we have this for Aqua Jet. So I think Ice Punch might be the better play here. A worst case scenario is he's just going to stay in and attack. He's going to go for the Feather Dance. Okay, so he doesn't have a healing move. That is the 4th move, is Feather Dance. And our attack is going to harshly fall, and I think this is still a KO. And it is still a KO! I really hope that was physically defensive. If that was physically defensive and we were at -2 attack and we still just killed you for like 30% of your HP remaining, that is ridiculous power right there. Alright, so we got Zoe coming out here. The Anorith. And it's got the little accent mark, so it's Zoe. And so if you had any Focus Sash, that obviously is out the window here. And I'm going to switch in Vibes. I'm not going to go for an Ice Punch. I mean, we might even be able to KO you from there, but I'm not positive, so I don't want to take a risk. Again, here goes the Swords Dance. And that's a little bit scary. I should be able to take any hit, though, with Vibes here. So we can go for a U-turn, a slow U-turn, and get Because Bunny's back in here to Aqua Jet to finish you off. And he goes for the Rock Blast here. Only hits 2 times, which really is unfortunate. I mean, that was dealing some decent damage for it being a resisted hit. Wow, that did so much damage. That did so much damage. Okay, he was definitely not Eviolite. If I had to guess, I'd say Focus Sash. Because we didn't see a Life Orb either. That did a ridiculous amount. An unstabbed U-turn from a Vibrava did that much. That's crazy. That is just craziness. Now, we could bring Marcus out here just to go for an Ice Shard, because I think that would kill as well. But we can go into Because Bunnies Jr., and we can just go for... Well, no, that probably wasn't the best play, was it? No, probably not. It probably was... It probably would have been a better idea to go for Marcus, because he really wouldn't have a switch in. He obviously just decided to stay in and sack this thing off here either way, but Marcus would have been the better choice. So that was just not the best play on my part, because now we have to play around this Bayleaf just a little bit, and he may be able to get up a Synthesis, and that's just unnecessary. I didn't need to allow that to happen, but what we can do is predict a Synthesis and switch in Butters, and let Butters finish the job. But I'm going to switch in Vibes here, and we will U-turn, because I would think that this Bayleaf is faster. I know Vibrava is not like the slowest thing in the world. He does decide to just go for an Energy Ball and not Synthesis. And that really doesn't do that much damage. For us being completely physically defensive, that does nothing. That does nothing. Oh, I am faster. Okay, so I'm just messing around here. I'm just toying with him, basically. I think at this point, we need to just bring Butters out regardless. And if I had to guess, I would say he would go for a Synthesis, knowing I can't really do anything to him. So we could bring in Marcus, and we could bring in Butters to finish the job. I'll bring in Butters just because Butters has not seen the light of day. He's just been chilling, waiting for his opportunity to get into the battle. He's been waiting ever so patiently. And the times that I have brought him on Wi-Fi battles here, he just doesn't get into the battle, or he does and he dies immediately. Just because I've misplayed him, or I allowed rocks to be up or something. He just doesn't get a lot of screen time. It's like the third battle I've used him in. He's maybe been in the battle, a total of 4 or 5 turns between all of those battles. So there's the Bug Buzz. That's actually almost a one-shot, and we get the special D-drop. Not that that matters. This match is pretty much in the books here, and that was a good match. It's going to end up being a 5-0, I believe, in our favor. But I always say the score is completely irrelevant. I've lost very close 6-0 matches where I lose. Well, that was a bit redundant to say I've lost matches that I lose. But you get my point. You can be in it until the very end. The matches can go over a half an hour and be very close neck and neck, and then you just get swept. So just because you made one mistake doesn't mean that it wasn't a close match or wasn't a good match or anything. So thank you for the match. As always, Roman, we will be having more matches in the future. I am sure of it, especially once Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire come out. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this match. You're going to see half of this team transplanted onto the next team that you'll see in the next Wi-Fi battle. So I hope you guys will enjoy that as well. I hope you're also leaving a like and a comment if you would so feel inclined. And with that being said, that is it for this time. So I'll see you all for the next battle. But until then, game on.